The Lakers rebound with a badly needed win in San Francisco. They beat the Warriors 129-101, and they feature balance, Andy. The big three, are they starting to get some rhythm? That's next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks to everybody for making Locked On Lakers first listen of every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on weekends, even on holidays, and often more than once a day now, no matter where you get your podcasts. This one's always going to be free for you, never behind paywall. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can hang out with over 37,000 is the number of subscribers to the channel. So no matter how you're doing it, you're making part of making the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network in this or any other known universe. Brian Kamenetsky, Andy Kamenetsky. We have covered the Lakers for a long time, almost 20 years, for The Athletic, for ESPN, for the LA Times. And you can tell, Andy, when a team needs a victory. This was a team that badly needed to win. They get one against the Golden State Warriors, a shorthanded Warriors squad. Lakers take control early. They keep it throughout. They sit starters in the fourth quarter. This was pretty much the blueprint that you would have drawn up before the game even started.
Yeah, all caveats acknowledged. The Warriors did not have Steph Curry. They did not have Jimmy Butler. They did not have Kristaps Porzingis. Will Richard got hurt during the game. Like, it was a skeleton crew for the Warriors that predictably had issues scoring. At the same time, though, the Lakers didn't just win this game. They won this game the way you wanted them to, and frankly, they needed to, which was decisive. They would have won this game by a full 30-plus had there been no garbage time and had J.J. Redick done the absolutely insane thing of keeping the starters out there the entire game. But the Lakers were often up by 30 when they were playing the guys who are in the rotation. They did a really good job of moving the ball, like, better than they had in previous games. They did a very good job actually hitting outside shots, 46% from behind the arc. The tone was set by LeBron, who has been struggling from behind the arc this season, but 4 of 4 in the first half from behind the arc.
Worried he used them all up at once.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning.
He's
but
clearly, or maybe. Well, I was just going to say, maybe it's just an end of February quota thing. Like, he had a few left over and needed to burn them before March.
Yeah, although, it's not going to be easy to tell whether or not he's going to be able to keep him going based on what hopefully he does against the Sacramento Kings, because they're just an absolute tire fire, missing half of their squad as well. But LeBron hit 4 threes himself in the first half. Luka, who had 16 points in the third quarter, hit 4 threes in that one, and that really just pushed the game just completely out of reach into an absolute blowout. And again, obviously, winning in this context does not mean that the problems that had everybody, including the Lakers themselves, concerned over the 3-game losing streak, they're not all instantly solved by beating this Warriors team. But at the same time, it is good to see them beat this Warriors team in precisely the way they were supposed to. So kudos to them for that.
There is no fix. There is no solves the problem. I've seen some people on social already saying, like, who cares? They already, this team sucks. They beat the Warriors. Great. It's like, yeah, well, it's, maybe it's not the something you slap up on the refrigerator or the box score from this one, but it's a hell of a lot better than losing to the Warriors. And this team,
or just really, beating them
the
by
Lakers needed.
Just beating them by 6
Yeah, you're right.
points.
Like in a close game. Sure. It's like you need to win the game. You can only play the teams that you're playing, and there is no fix. The Lakers needed to see good plays happen, and they got that. They got balance. They got all 3 of the big 3 playing well at the same time, getting off to a good start, increasing that plus minus net rating problem that they've been having. And it's like every one of these things is just a small step that hopefully begins a trajectory that goes in the right way. And then you get guys like, Luke Kennard pitch in, and Jake LaRavia hit a couple outside shots. They got 31 points from those two guys. Like, this stuff is all important. And you hopefully can roll that into a little bit of momentum by winning on Sunday. And maybe you just don't feel so bad about yourselves as a team and can get things recalibrated.
Yeah, and DeAndre Ayton, who was not terribly involved from an offensive standpoint in this game, and it wasn't that he wasn't playing well, that he just did not get a ton of looks, but he had 10 rebounds. He was energetic. He was active. Like, again, this was the opponent in front of them. But quite frankly, we've seen this team not just play down to bad opponents. Like, I know their record against teams below 500 is very strong, and it's something that has kept them in the top 6 despite a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of their flaws. But we've seen them often lose focus or start going for bad shot knockout shots like early in the third quarter, like looking to put a team away by the 8-minute mark of the third quarter by just trying to create 3 after 3 after 3 off the dribble, no ball movement, or whatever. I thought they did a good job in this game of actually running their offense and continuing to move the ball. Like, there was a moment in the second quarter where I thought they got away from it. It also coincided with Golden State going on, I want to say, a 13-2 run. And then from there, I thought they snapped out of the bad habits, went back to what was working. And that in and of itself is part of the habit that they're looking to build, something we've talked about a lot with this team, that they're not methodical enough. They're not disciplined enough. They won't do sometimes the extra steps that maybe even can feel boring, but are important in terms of just building up the muscle memory of playing the finger quote right way. They did that tonight against a lesser opponent.
All right. So after the break, let's talk a little bit. There are a couple of interesting things in terms of trying to maximize LeBron, Luka, and Reeves that JJ seems to have sort of settled on in terms of what the rotation looks like and stuff like that. So we'll get to it next.
Locked On Lakers is brought to you by DoorDash. The season's heating up, and DoorDash has a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Every player's got a bag, and with DoorDash, fans can have one too. DoorDash keeps the snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and the watch party vibes on point. There's nights when your team stresses you out, not tonight, thankfully, and DoorDash can become your post-game therapy. Sometimes you need dessert, comfort food, like right freaking now, or cups for a post-game beverage, a rather strong one. Or you can send a phone charger to the friend that's always at 2%, but you guys text about the game afterwards, win or lose. That's part of the season ritual. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag, order on DoorDash, get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long.
Locked On Lakers also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Welcome to the 5 Hour Energy Flavor Draft with 18 flavors to choose from, including new options like confetti craze, fruity rainbow, or cotton candy. There's really something for everybody. The board is set. The flavors are ready. Got my number one pick, grape. Concord grape flavor. It tastes like, not like grapes you get at the grocery store, like grape juice you used to make when you were little and all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of grape I want when I'm kind of liquid graping the whole thing. And the good thing about 5 Hour Energy, gives you that boost with zero sugar. They also have other flavor innovations planned. I don't know. I'm kind of into the sort of citrusy sort of flavors. I'd like to see them add one to that menu, but however they do it, it's going to be delicious. You can find your new favorite flavor of 5 Hour Energy shots available at 5hourenergy.com or at Amazon.
And finally, Locked On Lakers is brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like being in an NBA arena, the crowd, the energy, the moment. Getting tickets, though, that part has not always been simple, and that's why Game Time is the go-to app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts the advantage where it belongs, with the fans. You regain your power. You can pull up the Game Time app, pick an upcoming NBA game, and tickets are going to be locked in within minutes, and all the pricing, that's up front. It's all in. There's no surprise fees at the checkout, no sucker punch after you've already paid. Game Time features seat views, and it makes the decision even easier, especially because the app is user-friendly and user-intuitive. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON, locked on, for $20 off your first purchase. Again, code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today, and remember, it's gametime.co, not .com.
All right, so I part of the issue with Big Three, and again, it's low key because Lakers have played so poorly overall. The results have been really bad. There at least are some indications that that threesome LeBron and Luka with LeBron and AR is playing a little bit better together. They're the minutes, the plus minus in those minutes is improving some, but it's pretty clear that JJ has kind of figured out like the strategy that he wants to use. Luka and LeBron, or Luka and AR, playing most of the first quarter, if not all of it. LeBron comes about halfway through. Then you have a lot of sequences where LeBron is the only of the big three on the floor. Like he plays a lot of those minutes by himself with four players from the bench, or supporting players, or at the very least. And again, sort of statistically, that seems to be the way that everybody has been thriving, where LeBron with group has been, the best positive minutes for LeBron this year. And then, AR and Luka can kind of do their thing with a little less congestion. That part of it seems to be, I would suspect, where he's going to keep going.
It makes sense. Like in a lot of ways, it's less is more. And in a perfect world, you'd love to find a way where Luka, LeBron, and Austin can really synergize everything they bring together offensively. And that becomes the vision that everyone had of an elite offense that can't be guarded. And there's still 20 plus games left. Maybe they can figure out a way to make it work. For the time being, though, I think it's been often pretty cluttered. And I think it's in a lot of ways been too much of a theoretical good thing. Like it's too much overlap in terms of skill set and style, and not enough variance in terms of the offensive style. Like all three of them can play off ball. None of the three thrive off ball. And that
AR moves pretty well. LeBron,
sure.
Part of the problem with LeBron off ball is that his shooting has been so bad this year.
Right.
So that I think that's part of the, if the shooting percentage for LeBron goes up, that changes the equation a little bit. To be perfectly honest, Luka is not a great off-ball player. Well, he's, I think he's maybe more of a lot, but like, in fairness, I think there is a temptation to take a little bit of a break when he doesn't have the ball, which I understand, but he's not like one of these guys who's running and dashing and cutting all over the floor.
No, I like I said, you can find a way to use all three off ball. I would agree with you. Luka is the weakest of the three playing off ball. He's also, of the three, the one I want playing off ball the least, because I want his on ball skills the most. But regardless, though, none of the three thrive off ball. Like they don't.
Right.
They are all at their best, and I think also they're most comfortable and frankly most preferred with the ball. So you have to find ways. If you can't come up with a perfect synergy working that way, then you have to find ways to split it up. And I think it makes sense. I also think it makes sense why a unit of LeBron and, say, Smart, Vando, Ayton, and either like Kennard or LaRavia or someone like that, where you've got these high energy guys in the case of Vando and Smart and LaRavia, guys that will look to play with physicality and energy, and LeBron just quarterbacking everything. I think it makes sense why that works, particularly because when LeBron wants to, he can be just as much like, and I thought actually tonight against the Warriors, his physicality in the first half made a difference. And LeBron can fit with a group like that. So I think JJ is getting a handle on the way to make this stuff work. I think you'd mentioned Luke Kennard. He's really been, everyone expects the shooting and, hopes for more volume from behind the arc from Kennard. And Kennard acknowledged in the post-game interview on 710 ESPN, I did the pre and halftime and post for the radio coverage and heard the interview that John Ireland and Michael Thompson did with him. Like, he acknowledged in that, yeah, I know people want more volume from me from behind the arc, but he's done a really good job of putting the ball on the floor, getting himself to the basket, also making the right passing play. Like, he's helped keep the wheels greased offensively in a way that I did not necessarily expect from him. And I think it's been a real facet that the Lakers can look to utilize more moving forward. And also, if, say, it's just LeBron and no Luka, no Austin, I think Kennard can be helpful on that front as being a guy that can help him move the ball.
He's just a more complete offensive player than I think maybe he was getting credit for, for people who might not have seen him that much. And LeBron, we've talked about LeBron and Luka. Like, Luka is the closest thing sort of offensively in terms of the complete skill set, the floor vision, the ability. He's kind of in a lot of ways like LeBron. So it makes sense that splitting them up to some degree allows both of them to be as effective as possible. And so, like, we'll see. Tomorrow is Sunday is a really good opportunity for the Lakers to continue finding some confidence, continue building, because I know I've mentioned this on the show before. Everydayers may recognize it. The games against the bad teams are sure, you don't hang your hat on them, but particularly when you're slumping, you need the opportunity to make good things happen. And it's hard to make good things happen against Oklahoma City. It's a lot easier to get the reps and get the feel and get the timing and the rhythm against a team like Golden State as they're constructed on Saturday, or Sacramento hopefully on Sunday. So plenty to look forward to after Sunday's game. Of course, we'll have a full show for you. Get you ready for Monday, and Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can hang out with over 37,000 subscribers to the channel. Check out the Everydayer Club. It's in the show notes. We'll see everyone next time.